El día de hoy estoy aquí con ustedes
Today I'm here with you
porque mi hijo era un amante de la paz.
because my son was a peace lover.
Era un soldado por la paz,
He was a soldier for peace,
no por petróleo.
not for oil.
Yo era un trabajador social. Hoy en día, no sé, la gente me reconoce como un líder antibélico y por la paz. Es una responsabilidad enorme la que me están poniendo encima, pero activista yo no me considero un ser humano que lucha por los derechos, la igualdad, la tolerancia y la paz.
Do not enter the street. Please stay behind the ropes.
There are still a lot of people that believe that peace is possible.
Grassroots efforts grow and grow, 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 4 to 4, and it multiplies.
Upside down flag means in the Navy that there is distress, the ship is going down, or there's major problems, and that's how I feel the country is.
In Afghanistan, in Iran, throughout the Middle East. I know when I talk to my friends in Palestine, and they see on CNN, Al Jazeera, pictures like this, and pictures of Mars.
Cuando mi hijo murió,
When my son died,
el gobierno volvió a mentirme.
the government lied to me again.
Dijo que mi hijo había muerto por un balazo en la cabeza.
They said that my son was shot to the head,
Y eso fue mentira.
and that was a lie.
Mi hijo murió porque pisó una granada del mismo ejército americano.
My son died because he stepped on a cluster bomb from the American Army.
Y Bush me lo quiso ocultar.
And Bush tried to hide this fact from me.
¿Por qué?
Why?
Porque el señor no tiene calidad moral
Because he doesn't have the moral fiber
para enfrentarse a su pueblo.
from his own people.
El Proyecto Guerrero Azteca por la Paz trata de llegar a la comunidad hispana, sobre todo a los jóvenes en las escuelas preparatorias, secundarias, enseñándoles la otra cara del servicio militar. Lo que los reclutadores no enseñan, tratamos de enseñárselos nosotros. Y la finalidad es no tanto que no entren al ejército, sino que tomen una decisión basada en el conocimiento, basada en que tengan los elementos necesarios para tomar una decisión tan importante que afecta su vida de una manera u otra, ¿no?
I have participated in many of the anti-occupation marches here in Los Angeles. I do think we can make a difference, and I would feel terrible if I wasn't doing something. And I don't like to feel terrible, so I'm out there doing what I can to try to make things go a different direction than they're going.
I think it's a fundamental aspect of democracy to protest what you don't believe in. And I think that if we don't get out now and make our voices heard, there's no way of that happening.
Muita gente aqui nos Estados Unidos fala, você não é americana, por que você está protestando? Aqui como que eles falam, the belly of the beast, like, a barriga da besta, que se você muda aqui, vai mudar no mundo inteiro. É por isso que eu acho que é muito importante a gente protestar aqui e fazer algo também.
The movement comes in waves, and sometimes we were out here once and we had 100,000 people out in the street, and then after the war started, it was down, but the movement's building back up. People realize more than ever now that the role that we have as far as really making change. If you look in history, whether it's talking about Social Security, unemployment benefits, or the Vietnam War, or any issue, domestic issues like housing, they all were lifted up when the movement was strong.
I think it's important to protest because people out there need to know that there is representation. That people aren't factioned, that people are together, that there's people in small towns out there who think no one's standing up for them. There's people in Iraq that think we all think just like Bush, and they need to know we don't.
The importance of this march is for people to have a place to show their desire for the end of the war and their dissatisfaction with the sham of the election. And I see there are some people physically out there that are doing something, and then I will look for them next time. So it's a growing, what the good of it is to help people, to help the movement grow against this war and against this regime that we have in the United States.
And I want the people to see us, and I want it to get out there. I want the media to pick it up. I want somebody to notice that we don't agree, that all of America does not agree, that we do not all agree with this president or the war or with what's going on. I'm against it.
We also have to make this a free state of fear, because what politicians have done has played on our fear. And we are the United States of America, and we should be living together unitedly in freedom and not in feardom.
My brother-in-law in 3 months is slated to go to Iraq, and he's got a son, 2 daughters, and my sister's wife at home that he should be with. It's important. There are people that are giving up way more than this across the globe, and almost no major country is in support of this war besides America. And I think that, yes, it's still important, and the more people that are coming in support against the war, the sooner the war will end.
We are here to say you are not keeping us down. We are going to unite together and win this in peace. And globally as well, unite together. This is not just Iraq and America, this is global.
Move, get out the way! Get out the way, Bush! Get out the way! Move, Bush! Get out the way! Get out the way, Bush! Get out the way! Move, Bush!
We have to give our voice, we have to speak. The people of this country have to speak out so that our leaders will know that we're not all like those red states. And we're determined to stop this war and bring our troops home and not in body bags.
Pero mi hijo no murió en vano.
But my son did not die in vain.
Ni tampoco el soldado Garibay.
Or the soldier Garibal.
Silva. Smith. Estrella. Y puedo mencionar casi 300 nombres de muchachos.
There's 300 other names that I could mention.
No murieron en vano.
That did not die in vain.
Ellos están uniendo a este pueblo.
They are becoming united with us, with these people.
Nos unieron hoy aquí.
They united us here today.
Para exigir la paz.
To demand peace.
Para exigir el regreso de nuestros hijos.
To demand that the children come back home.
Lo importante para mí es darle un significado humanista a la muerte, no nada más de mi hijo, a la muerte de todos los muchachos con uniforme que han muerto en Irak. Darles el sentido realmente de fraternidad, de amor, de paz. Que no vean que ellos murieron por un petróleo, que no murieron por un interés político, económico de la Casa Blanca. No, estas acciones ponen a ellos como una muerte por los niños, por la paz.
I've been to several marches in LA, and a big one in New York, and they're very moving. I think they're very necessary, but this is also necessary. Like, to me, this is such an interesting form of activism because it's undeniable. We've been doing this memorial since February, and so every Sunday we show up around 7:30 and we put one cross in the sand for every American soldier that's been killed during the war. What's joyful is the community and the volunteerism that comes together to get it done. But it's just this sort of necessary thing that needs to be done every Sunday because it reminds me of the cost of war every week.
There's only 6 or 7 veterans that do this whole thing, so we have 20 people usually here helping setting up and about 12 or so to help take it down. So without a lot of people volunteering, we couldn't do this every week.
Watch your head! Watch your fingers as it goes down, too. You don't have to...
Slowly!
Watch yours, Jerry.
Slowly!
Watch your shoulders.
Pick up yourself and...
There's something about cooperation. I mean, there's so few opportunities for people to work together in a non-commercial way so that we, I mean, that's what the marches were like. We were, it was a collaboration of so many different people to make a statement. And here it's the same thing, and it's so human. It feels so good. It does not feel good to only, be constantly directed toward your own interests, your own, possessions and your own achievements. I do a lot of political activist work, and I heard about this for a really long time. It sounded like just the very best way to bring these issues to people in a really concrete way, in a human way, that is avoided by our media. And it's not an in-your-face kind of thing. It's just reality and questioning, maybe evaluating now, how people really feel is this much, loss of life make any sense.
In the first 2 rows or 3 rows, those are names that were put up by family members or friends. Sometimes it's parents, and sometimes it's brothers and sisters, and sometimes it's friends of people that died. We feel that as veterans, we feel it's an honor to be allowed to do this, to pay tribute to young men who have made such a tremendous sacrifice. It's not just the killed. It's also, we have a picture board over here of people that have been wounded, and thousands of young Americans, men and women, have been wounded. Some of them have lost limbs. So it's a huge sacrifice, and it's an honor to be able to put on a memorial for them. I was a medic in Vietnam, and I saw a lot of people came to the hospital badly wounded, and a lot of them died. And to see so many young people dying in this war, just like in the Vietnam War, it just makes me very, very sad.
I'm a veteran of the Korean War, 1950, 1952. Generally, I'm for peace. and I became very upset with the military adventures of my country, and I wanted to help make a statement for peace. Once or twice in my lifetime, I will support what I consider, if there's such a thing, an honorable war. Certainly, I felt World War II to destroy Nazism and fascism and Japanese imperialism was very, very important.
We are Veterans for Peace, and we don't support war as a casual activity. You know, there may be a time when you have to defend your country, and we're not opposed to that. We are opposed to wars that are based on lies and wars to gain natural resources and to control other countries.
We're not against Bush per se, but it's inherent in what we're doing that those who have put our men and women and Iraqis in danger of losing their lives and being badly wounded are not among our favorites.
Get a lot of families that come down that have, that have lost people, and sometimes this is their only place to grieve, and so it's been really touching seeing how they're dealing with their loss.
21 years old.
He truly died a hero.
When you hear a number of 1,000 or 500 or 10,000, they're all just numbers. But when you see all the crosses laid out here, it has a very profound, powerful impact on people.
And to look at all this and then to see the sign that says, that how many Iraqis have died, and if they put up all the crosses for that, hello, we would not even have room on this beach.
Yo lloro todos los días. Todos los días lloro porque no está mi muchacho conmigo. Pero al día siguiente me levanto, veo las noticias y al ver esas caras de esas madres que están llorando porque su hijo murió la noche anterior y niños iraquíes que perdieron un brazo, su familia, me levanto y empezamos a pelear otra vez.
I do think we can make a difference, and we cannot be living in this world with integrity in our own beliefs if we're not actively promoting and supporting those beliefs.
Well, actually, a lot did happen. I think it was Rumsfeld who said that they had to, they had to delay the war. So delaying the war meant maybe some more bomb shelters could have been made in Iraq. And also, they were prepared to use this new weapon called the mother of all bombs. And they said the only reason they didn't use it was because of the anti-war movement. They thought it would create such a ruckus from the anti-war movement that they saw grew so much. So if they had used that bomb, thousands and tens of thousands of more Iraqi people would have been dead right now. So I think when we were able to save thousands and thousands of lives, it's always worth it.
There's no separation between people and government. People create the government, people create families, people create communities. So it's up to the individual to be the change that he wants to see in the world, period. There's nobody to blame except ourselves.
It's important to use your voice, not just protesting. You have to do letter writing campaigns. You have to support the organizations you believe in financially. You have to make sure that although Bush was re-elected, it was a very narrow margin. You have to show that there are still a lot of people that believe that peace is possible.
What do we want?
importa nacionalidad, raza, color de ojos, de piel. Todos tenemos el mismo derecho de vivir en paz, en armonía y en tolerancia. Pero para eso tenemos que ganarlo. Tenemos que trabajar por eso. Yo pagué un precio muy alto. No es necesario que todos paguen un precio como el que yo pagué. Podemos empezar desde hoy, tratando de cambiar nuestras actitudes ante los demás y tratando de luchar contra el sistema en cualquier tipo de gobierno, llámese Brasil, México, Estados Unidos, Inglaterra. Tenemos que trabajar desde abajo para cambiar el sistema que destruye las vidas.